Hello, Hans here. Oftentimes, our problems stem from deeper levels of our being. However, if we attempt to tackle them only on the surface level, where they appear, horizontally as it were, chances are we will hit an impenetrable wall and feel we will never be able to solve our problems in a satisfying and sustainable way. I personally advocate to go in depth whenever that is necessary to see what's going on. The other day, I was working with a woman who complained she had this issue. She loved her work, was proud of her business, but she felt that time and again she encountered very cold responses in the way people treated her. And she felt that if this continued, she would have to give up her business. She was simply too unhappy to go on and feared she had to take up her old job as a secretary. First of all, I reminded her that part of this problem is that people are trained in our culture to turn off their feelings when they're doing business. So many business people become pretty much like robots unless they wake up to the inhuman way they are acting. So I told her not to take all those reactions too personal. But of course I couldn't discount the possibility that some of the cold reactions she encountered were personal. In other words, that she had something to do with the indifference around her. I asked her about it, but she couldn't see how she was involved. Thankfully, I had her natal chart to help me, and from the patterns I saw there, I learned that her entire life she had been super sensitive to any aloof and critical behaviors of other people. And investigating further, it was clear she had never learned how to deal with this extreme sensitivity, and instead of using it wisely, had pushed it out of her awareness, and in its place, out of insecurity, had put up a mask of indifference to any callous person she encountered. So it was likely that her customers, since she didn't show her passion for her business in any tangible way, responded to her mask of indifference with an aloofness of their own. It took some work to make her understand that all programs running silently but nefariously inside her, originating from past dealings with cold, unfeeling people, would continue to wreck her entrepreneurial satisfaction and joy until she would change them. We didn't have to dig out what or who exactly had hurt her in the past. We merely had to work together on building a practice of new emotional responses in our business dealings in the present. And whatever would come up that sabotaged this new growing repertoire, we would deal with appropriately and in due time. Turned out that the first thing she needed to do was deleting her need to react emotionally. She understood the concept but found this difficult to do, and it took us half a dozen of training sessions before she slowly but surely got the hang of it. Next, I made her construct through her creative imagination some borders around herself that went into operation each day as she began her work. These gave her an emotionally safe space around her that all those chilly people wouldn't be able to penetrate. And we practiced her taking them down again each evening as her work finished. I also got her to charge herself up emotionally and energetically, which helped to rekindle her love for doing business, and then express this in her face, in her voice, and gestures. This consistent and in-depth approach to the different issues related to her original service problem of hating the cold business world slowly turned her not only into the veritable dynamo she needed to be as an entrepreneur, but also, with her sensitivity now being used in the proper way, enabled her, as if by magic, to soften even some of her clients' coldest hearts with her refreshingly direct, spontaneous, and caring way of doing business.